I'm not going to tell you something you all know. Technology is essential to life these days, and certainly to every business, even the ones that don't consider themselves all that tech savvy. Technology can certainly increase performance and efficiency and help keep you connected with your customers, but it does also bring its own set of challenges. And then you add on to that, the technological landscape is changing every day, so it's a lot to keep track of. So to help you along, I'm happy to have Jeremy Smith, the COO of Nutmeg Technologies. He's here with us now with more on the latest tips and trends. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
By the way, South Windsor native, just like me. South Windsor High School coming back. So I haven't seen you in decades. And
it's great to see you.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. Just keeping track of what's going on and the different trends. What's new for 2017, and how do you see people sort of integrating that into their daily lives, even outside of business?
Great. It's a great time to have this conversation.
Yeah.
The CES, Consumer Electronics Show, just wrapped up last weekend in Vegas.
Yeah.
And there's a multitude of things out there that they present. I just want to talk about a few of those things that I think will have traction in the market.
Okay.
Most of you are familiar with virtual reality.
Yes.
Take goggles, you don them, you put a phone in there,
Yep.
and you have the ability to look in this 3D world. That's still very hot. What we're really looking at now is mixed reality or augmented reality.
Okay.
The problem with virtual reality is you don these goggles and you're lost in this sense right now.
Yes.
So mixed reality or augmented reality allows you to layer technology over your existing environment.
Like with Google Glass?
With Google Glass, which I brought a pair. It's been out for about 2 years, and
Yeah.
program's dead right now. Augmented reality, Microsoft has released what's called a HoloLens, where they take holograms and images and layer them over existing workspaces. So think of it like for an auto mechanic who may want to layer over his design while he's doing his work.
Yeah.
An artist or something like that.
Like technologically, the biggest analog I can think of is almost like Pokemon Go, where you're still looking at the real world, but then there's just little bits of digital creatures or information and whatnot just overlaid like that.
That's a perfect example. I mean, that went crazy last summer. People were walking into things, looking at it, and that's one of the challenges with virtual reality versus augmented reality. With augmented, at least you now have the ability to keep your head up and take a look at what's out there in front of you.
I'm curious to see if that gets some traction. There's so many good things. I do want to worry about some of the problems because it seems like every day we're talking about cybersecurity breaches at major places like that. I imagine that's big for 2017.
Oh, it's really big. Last year was huge for cybersecurity. A lot of crypto wall viruses, if you're familiar with that, where you have to pay a ransomware to get your data back.
Yeah, these are people who would threaten to shut down your computer and break it unless you pay something.
So we deal with that a lot in the business world. We really trend towards the business world, but we do help a lot of consumers out there. We usually recommend you don't pay for the ransom and do a good job backing up your data.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to back up your data from a consumer perspective and definitely from a business perspective.
Here's what worries me, though. I feel like most people think about hacking, they're thinking of like, figure out passwords and brute force. Usually it's the person, the user, that's the weak link, right? You
Absolutely.
find a phishing scam and people willingly give their passwords away. So how do you stop that?
Well, some of the smartest guys we deal with make these mistakes. I mean, it's pretty simple. It sounds simple. If you get something in your email from FedEx.zip, when's the last time FedEx actually zipped up a file and told you your tracking was in there? Don't open that.
Okay.
Things like that. Just use common sense.
You had me thinking about it. I'm like, I don't
open
know.
that.
Okay.
So it's things like that.
How about sort of stepping away from technology? I know that's something that, at least at Nutmeg Technologies, you try to pride yourself on, that it's not all in all the time, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we work in the tech world, so it's difficult to step away from Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we do have conversations with our employees telling them to take a break, relax, go out for a walk, go for a jog, go to the gym across the street, get away from that computer, get disconnected for a while. And we struggle with that in our home lives as well. Being a tech guy in the tech business, it's very difficult to get my kids to break away from that, and even myself. So we try to set up the tech-free zones. It's very hard. It's very hard. I'm not going to lie.
But you do. You find yourself, even especially with all the politics that's been going on, the longer you spend on Facebook, sometimes you get this sort of vague uneasiness that you don't even necessarily tie into Facebook, but a lot of the times that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges with kids growing up today versus when we grew up.
Yeah.
Technology was new to us. It was brand new. There wasn't a lot out there. Now they're immersed in it. They're talking about kids across the country on YouTube that may have had this problem, things we didn't run up against as kids.
Right.
So we try to separate that a little bit. We try to make zones and go out to dinner, put the phones away. It's not always easy to do as a business owner.
Right.
somebody always needs us.
It's a work-life balance.
But we try.
Well, we do have maybe another minute or so. I know you mentioned Google Glass. I imagine that it's going to take a while before that would catch on. What are some of the other ways you see technology sort of improving people's lives on a daily basis?
So Internet of Things, which is a term out there, take a look at like Amazon Alexa and Google Home, tying those things into other devices like smart devices, smart watches. The whole industry is about sensors. So as sensors develop, we start putting them in our socks, we start putting them in our clothing. We get positive feedback through these devices. We get tools like Alexa, like Siri, like Google Home. They give us the ability to get feedback from that, and they act like a personal assistant. But we do need to be cautious with the use of those. We do, I know, because every connected thing you add on there, there's another security risk for you, and we're starting to see some problems with Alexa, as great as that is. Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I want to see if the Google Glass takes off. So thanks for the heads up on that. Good
Great
to see you, Jeremy.
Nice to see you, Tim. Thanks a lot.
Again, Jeremy Smith, the CEO of Nutmeg Technology.